right, the time is now 5 o'clock. I'd like to call today's Utility Service Board meeting to order. The City of Bloomington Utilities' mission is to enhance the quality of life in our community by providing safe, sustainable, and high-quality drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater services in a cost-effective manner, promoting public health, economic vitality, and environmental stewardship. If any board member has any personal or financial conflict with any issues or individuals on the agenda, then please be sure to recuse yourself during those portions of the meeting. We will begin with petitions and communications. Are there any petitions and communications from the public? Hearing none, we'll move along to the approval of minutes from the previous meeting.
I move we approve the minutes of the October 20th meeting.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Are there any?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Minutes are approved. Moving along to the approval of the claims. First, we have standard invoices for a total amount of $1,129,008.49. Are there any questions or comments on the standard invoices?
I have a question for later, and given the page 2 Denton's Bingham Greenbaum and page 6 Stantec, just could we get an update on the status of the water rate case during the staff meeting? Or the staff briefing?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all.
Yep. Any other questions or comments?
How's our progress coming along with the Third and Lincoln litigation?
We will also save that for staff reports.
Okay. I just brought it up here because we're paying an invoice. Glad to hear it later. All right, I move approval of our standard invoices for today.
A second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Standard invoices are approved. Next, we have utility bills for a total amount of $11,165.09. Any questions or comments on the utility bills?
I move approval of utility bills pay date October 30th.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Utility bills are approved. Next, we have wire transfers for a total amount of $550,442.72. Any questions or comments on the wire transfers?
I move we approve the wire transfers for November.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Wire transfers are approved. Lastly, we have customer refunds for an amount of $2,308.52. Are there any questions or comments on the customer refunds?
Quick question. I just was interested in the type of account that Bryan Park neighborhood has and why they're getting a refund. Not that they shouldn't get one, but I'm just always curious when something like that comes up.
Excuse me, talk about choking. I'll have to look into that for you. I'll have to look into that. I don't know off the top of my head.
Does anyone know what type of account they have and why the neighborhood has an account with us?
Well, it could be like in my homeowners association, we have like common, that I don't have one.
Fountain?
No. The spigot, thank you.
Oh, okay.
I don't have one at my house. And so then our homeowners association pays for that because it's common to the neighborhood. So
Sure.
that's what I assumed, but I thought, oh, it's gonna, who's continuing on? Maybe it's like a new HOA president, they're setting up a new account was my
I'm
assumption.
just familiar with the neighborhood, so
Right,
I'm not
yeah.
a part of it, but
Uh-huh.
that's where I grew up, so
Yeah.
I'm like, what are
It's
the
still there.
facilities associated with them? Anyway, that's all, just a question. Maybe you can tell me in some email or something like
Okay.
that later.
Okay. No
Thank
problem.
you.
Okay, I move approval of customer refunds for November 7th.
A second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Customer refunds are approved. Moving along to the approval of consent agenda. Catherine Zager.
Good evening, I'm Catherine Zager, Utilities Director. I'm presenting tonight's consent agenda totaling $27,151.95 for non-chemical contracts. First contract is with Stage Flow Consulting LLC for $8,900 for completing a high visual hazard AM inspection and report of Griffey Dam in accordance with guidelines prescribed by the IDNR. Next is with Set Environmental, Inc. for $16,451.95 for waste disposal and recycling services at Monroe Water Treatment Plant. Next is with Brentag Mid-South, Inc. for 38 cents a pound for the 2026 supply of sodium bicarbonate or soda ash at Blucher Pool Wastewater Treatment Plant. Next is with Brentag Mid-South, Inc. for $0.225 per pound for the 2026 supply of sodium hydroxide or caustic soda at Blucher Pool Wastewater Treatment Plant. Next is with Brentag Mid-South, Inc. for 37 cents a pound for the 2026 supply of calcium hydroxide or lime at Blucher Pool Wastewater Treatment Plant. Next is with Brentag Mid-South, Inc. for 31 cents a pound for the 2026 supply of sodium aluminate paper makers at Dillman Wastewater Treatment Plant. Next is with Brentag Mid-South, Inc. for 22 cents a pound for the 2026 supply of sodium bisulfate at Dillman Wastewater Treatment Plant. Next is with Brentag Mid-South, Inc. for $0.175 per pound for the 2026 supply of ammonium hydroxide or aqua ammonia at Monroe Water Plant. Next is with Brentag Mid-South, Inc. for 0.195 cents per pound for the 2026 supply of sodium hydroxide or caustic soda at Monroe Water Plant. Next is with Brentag Mid-South, Inc. for $4.03 a gallon for the 2026 supply of sodium thiosulfate at Monroe Water Plant. And last is with Brentag Mid-South, Inc. for 25 cents a pound for the 2026 supply of hydrofluorosilicic acid or fluoride at Monroe Water Plant. Is there any member who wishes to consider one or more of these items individually? Hearing none, if there is no opposition, these items will be approved as recommended by staff. Hearing no opposition, the consent agenda is approved.
Thank you. Item 6 on our agenda is request approval of encroachment agreement. Chris Wheeler.
Hi, Chris Wheeler with City Legal. This item is a request by staff to approve an encroachment agreement, and I kind of wanted to walk through it a little bit with you here. Got to pull up my notes here, sorry. So this is in Spicewood, Section 2, Phase 4 of Spicewood neighborhood, and it is part of the plat. This easement is a platted easement, which means we don't own the easement. We enjoy a reserved right to have our infrastructure in that easement, and we have sewer lines in that easement. We are allowed to install and operate our infrastructure in this particular easement. What we have discovered, not because of anything we did, but the owners of the property wanted to put a deck on their house, which has nothing to do with this issue, but in trying to get the deck put on their house, they discovered that they've got an issue with where their house is located. And I think we provided a map for the board to look at. There's a tiny little corner of the house, just I think like a foot of the house sits into the easement, which doesn't seem like a big deal. And as far as our ability to operate our infrastructure in that easement, it isn't a big deal right now. But we wanted to take steps with them to ensure that they are allowed to keep the house in the easement and to take steps to make sure that CBU is protected in the event something weird should ever happen with regards to that house in relation to our infrastructure in the easement. So we came up with this agreement. Ordinarily, when we find situations like that, and we've brought things to this court where, or to this, sorry, I've been in litigation mind all day today, brought before this board, oftentimes we've seen some kind of financial reimbursement, like maybe we'll try to adjust the lines of the easement or some compensation, but since we don't own this easement, we don't have any monetary value that's assigned to the easement. We can't change the lines of the easement. We don't have any authority there. So simply we're trying to protect ourselves. And that's where I wanted to direct your attention. I think it's paragraph 4. Let me pull it up real quick. Real quick is famous last words, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not finding it in my computer at the moment.
It's page 34 of the PDF. If that's what you have.
Chris, would you like a paper copy?
Do you have one?
I do,
I'm not
right
seeing,
here.
I had it pulled up earlier and then I started.
Right there.
Stuff. Thank you.
Paragraph 4.
My apologies. Yeah,
No
it is
problem.
I was right. It's paragraph 4. But that's the paragraph you want to look at. That's the main one we are concerned about, which is basically to release any and all claims and actions and damages that might occur as a result of the existence of the house sitting in that easement. Essentially what, in addition to that being very particularly important to us, I wanted to point out that this plat language does not, when I'm looking at Spicewood and the way the developer of the neighborhood created these easements, this particular easement does not prohibit property owners from using the easement. They own the property, so they can use the easement as long as it's not somehow contradictory or in conflict with our interest in that easement. As it stands, the house sitting where it is isn't contradictory to what we are doing in that easement. If someday down the road, long way down the road, we needed to upsize our infrastructure for some reason, that would now create a problem between our existence in the easement and that house, they're on the hook and they're going to have to cover the cost of our damages as a result. I'm trying to think of an example here. We, in the Big Dig, when we were renovating the culvert for the Hidden River, we had one property where the people owning the property wanted to keep their house. They didn't want to get rid of it, and it was situated in a position inside of our easement. We entered an agreement with them and did monies back and forth, and we had to put a retaining wall in, a great big, heavy structured retaining wall between the house and our infrastructure to allow them to stay in the easement and us to have our infrastructure there. That sort of a thing could happen in the future if their house continues to be where it is and we have to upsize to a point where somehow the house is now undermined by the fact that we're digging. So this agreement takes care of those types of future concerns. Also, if their house ever gets destroyed or they think they want to add on, this agreement's gone. They can't extend further into the easement. They're going to have to get out of the easement. So I feel like it well protects us and our interests. And staff, this is long-winded, I apologize, but staff does recommend that you approve the easement agreement.
Appreciate it. Any questions for Chris?
It's a good summary.
Yeah.
Thank you. I move approval of the encroachment agreement as discussed.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Request is approved. Thank you. Moving along to old business. Any old business from the board? Old business from staff?
Yes. I just wanted to give an update about the questions we've had about the fleet charges. Matt and Matt's team has done a great job of finding some preliminary costs for just regular maintenance from a local shop offered for research purposes only, which is kind of difficult when you're not quoting or trying to get quotes specifically. We're looking at these numbers now, and they've been sent to the Office of the Mayor, the Controller, and to DPW for comparison and verification to make sure they're an accurate comparison to what charges and work are being performed by fleet. So we just want to make sure that what we have is comparable to what we're receiving. So hopefully we will be able to present to you soon, yet this year. So, yes.
And this was just for our question from earlier this year when we were going over the MOU and some other things. This is just for routine maintenance that we're trying to get some ballpark coding on. It's not major repairs that we won't know. It's just the
Yes.
routine maintenance. Thank you.
Correct.
Awesome. Any questions for Kat? Okay. New business. Any new business from the board? New business from staff?
No.
Subcommittee reports. There was no subcommittee meeting today. Staff reports.
We had a bid opening. Do we have to record that?
When do we? No.
Do I need to mention that we had a bid opening or no? Okay, sorry. My apologies.
No, you're fine. Staff reports.
Yeah, we've got a few. Let's start with, I think Phil has a staff report for the team, for the board.
Good evening, Board. Phil Peden, Engineering. So this is my chance to play Dave Roberts, manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers. In the World Series, he took Shohei Ohtani, who's hit some of the most home runs this season. He moved him from cleanup down to leadoff because that gave his team an advantage and made his lineup more efficient. So in engineering, we have looked at our division and we've decided we can make it more efficient and streamline some of our practices by swapping a few people in the lineup into different roles. So Rachel has a thing here. I'd like to show you the print's small, so you may have to turn around and look backwards. But the gist of it is Jane Fleeg and Caden Swanson had members of their team that they managed that were parts of different programs that we run. And so we've shifted those so that all of the plan review process is under Caden. And we titled that New Development and Permitting Engineering. And then under Jane, she now has the inspectors and the technicians who handle a lot of the field work and construction activities. And so now she's the utilities engineer construction. Mark's been in the role of capital projects coordinator or manager over the capital projects manager and capital projects coordinator. Kind of messed up the words there, but his didn't change from what we had. So what we're doing is, as we work with Mr. Hiddle's team at planning, try to get all our practices for plan review incorporated into the EPL software. Caden is managing that program, developing that with the IT department, and it seems to be already making a huge difference in our team having this reorganization. So just wanted to share that with the board, and hopefully we can keep winning like the Dodgers with our new lineup. Any questions?
Thank you for that. I see you have blue on to represent the Dodgers as well.
Yeah.
Phil is always good for a great sports analogy. And I'll take this time to publicly thank or congratulate Bloomington's own Will Klein, who was a pitcher for the Dodgers. So there's that.
That was a really good
And
story.
This is awesome, by the way, so thank you. Any questions?
So Tanya's moved over from plan review coordinator to project coordinator. Is that a new position?
So she took Nancy Axon's job. She was
Thank you.
promoted.
Okay.
And so typically we would bring someone to the board to present them to the board when they were, and she was out following that. So we just haven't coordinated that, but I'm sure she'll be in front of the board to present contract or something where we can get in there and acknowledge that. I kind of thought once we hired that new plan review coordinator, we could bring them both in and do that. But we're interviewing for that position now. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that plan review coordinator was under utility technician. It didn't have its own title. And so there was 3 utility technicians. They all Well, 2 did the same thing, and then Tanya's position has always been separate, and it was doing plan review, and it's been like that for 20-some years, but it just sat under that utility technician position. So we redid the job description to make it accurate to what she was doing. Some of that came out in that job study that was done through the mayor's office last year as well. So we will be filling that position soon.
Awesome.
Thank you for asking about that.
Any other questions for Phil? Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other staff reports?
Yes. Chris Wheeler, you want to give a progress report on 3rd and Lincoln? Work my way down my list.
Hi, Chris Wheeler with City Legal. So a while back, we were given the green light to pursue a lawsuit against the now defunct company known as Leonard's Linens. I'm paraphrasing, I'm not exactly sure what their legal name is, but I call it Leonard's Linens. We filed suit back on March 10th of this year. We are in front of Judge Bradley in Monroe County Circuit 1. The pleadings phase is completed. We did have an initial pretrial conference on August 19th of this year. Out of that conference, the parties have agreed to a trial schedule, which the court turned into its pretrial order. Some important dates in that order are that our discovery will close on May 15th of next year. So we're in the discovery phase right now. But fact discovery closes on the 15th of May. Expert and damages discovery will close on June 30th of next year. And the trial is set for November 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 6th of next year. We have filed a preliminary witness and exhibit list in the matter, which was due, I think, it was due today. We filed it on Friday. And so we've got that done. We're waiting for their witness and exhibit list to be presented to us, which helps to inform us on how we might handle some of our discovery. And I'm happy to take any questions as far as what I can discuss in the procedural aspect of this case. Otherwise, that's it.
Does anybody remember, I can't remember how much we spent on the remediation for this.
Yeah, it was just a little north of $1 million, and our damages are a little north of what we originally demanded in our demand letter, so.
And Chris, in the case of a company that's defunct, I assume we're kind of looking at the insurance company that they
Yeah,
would have
so-
had at that time.
Environmental law allows us to pursue an action, and insurance law allows us to look for old insurance policies and talk to insurance companies about their coverage at the time. So that's just basic law that allows us to still seek a remedy.
And so you're working on the case with, I think, Barnes and Thornburg is?
Yeah, we have outside counsel, that's right.
Okay. All right. Good, thank you.
Other questions for Chris? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And then a rate case update, just where we're at now. We are developing our written testimonies, and we are working with Dave McGimpsey on that, and we are hoping to file soon. We're kind of in queue. There are some cases that have come in before us, so we are, there's no rush right now. So we're just getting our testimonies in a good place, and we'll file as soon as we can. So we're actively working on that.
And then that I believe you said it was a 9-month to a year timeline, or that was what we were told?
Oh, right.
So
for
is that
IURC.
started, or does that start when we actually file?
I believe it starts when we file.
Okay.
Is that correct? Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it starts when we file.
Okay. So even though we're kind of still in line, we know that there's not other cases that we anticipate coming in line before we get ours in
No,
there?
no.
Okay.
Dave McGimsey is staying on top of that.
Perfect.
He's checking in on that schedule.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions about the rate case? Okay. And then we have some congratulations and welcomes. So we would like to welcome Timothy Golson to the Monroe Water Treatment Plant as a new operator. And we would like to congratulate Jason Lasher at Dillman Road. He's earned his wastewater operator 4 license. And Josh Farmer, who recently passed his WT5 exam. That concludes our staff report.
Nice. Congratulations to them and welcome as well. Are there any petitions or communications from the public? Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Meeting is adjourned.